Hi there. Today I'm going to walk you through how I plan a typical month. It is quick and easy. I have so many clients tell me, oh my goodness, I don't have time to stop and plan my month. And Mama, I promise you, it takes me 10 minutes tops to sit down every month and do my monthly planning. So let me share with you my process. I hope you're as excited about it as I am. So each month I do something that I call a reflection wheel. This is all over the internet, different versions of it. This is the one that I created for myself. But you'll see a lot of personal growth gurus use some form of a reflection wheel. So what I actually do is I print this off. I print 12 of them at the beginning of every year. I cut them out and they're all ready to be taped into my map book. In last week's video, I shared about how I set up my map book for the quarter, and this was one of the steps. It was actually taking the time to put this in my notebook so it's ready to rock and roll. So at the beginning of each month, I look at each of these categories, and you can see on the circles that you can sort of rank how you feel each category is going on a scale of one or zero to 10. And the goal, obviously, is to have the highest ranking as possible in the categories. And I like to think of it at when I was first taught this method, I was taught that this is a wheel. So like a wheel, you want it to be able to turn. You don't want the dips and the peaks to be too extreme. You don't consistently month to month want to be, really high in one area and really low in another because your wheel it wouldn't work. And I love that idea of balance, and not everything's going to be perfect every month. It's actually pretty rare that I find myself with a level 10 in any category in any month, but it's nice to strive for. You can do a lot with this wheel, and I get into that in other videos, but it's just been a tool that I've really enjoyed using, and maybe you'll be inspired to use it too. So what I take the time to do first is on my MacBook page, and I'll show you that in a minute, but on my MacBook page, I go through and do current status. So even if it's March 3rd or March 7th or whatever, even if it's halfway through the month, I still do this, stop and do this wheel. Ideally, the earlier in the month, the better, but I use that to guide my action plans for the month. So I literally go through each category, for example, meaningful work, and I ask myself, how do I feel that I did with meaningful work this month? Or how do I feel right in this moment? Not tomorrow, not how did I feel yesterday, just some general thoughts. And I go ahead and I draw a circle, which again, I'll show you in a minute, on the wheel where I feel I am. Then I go to the next category. So exercise and nutrition. Today, how do I feel like that is going? I will often write notes for myself in the margins just to remind me kind of why I chose the ranking that I chose. And then actually, I don't really like to count the lines. So I'll do like exercise and nutrition, 8, and I'll circle an 8, and I'll show you that again in a second. So I go through all of those categories. I do all my rankings. Sometimes I'm feeling ambitious and I'll even connect the lines to see how balanced my wheel is. And then I go through and again, for each category, and ask myself, okay, what could I do this month to improve just by 1 point? So what could I do for meaningful work? What could I do for exercise and nutrition that would move me in the direction that I want to go? I was doing a group coaching program about a year ago, and I shared this wheel with my clients. And the big question that I was asked was, well, what's a level 10 look like? I can't answer that for you. And I know that's a frustrating answer, but your level 10 is different than my level 10. To me, a level 10 means you are consistently rocking it and you're inspiring others with how well you're doing. I have very high standards for my level 10, but your level 10 may not be that. So for example, like personal growth, that is something that I'm now coaching other people with and trying to inspire them with my story and what they can do and creating action plans. So personal growth for me is a 10 a lot of months. But for you, a level 10 personal growth, I mean, that may just look like following through with your action plan or reading a personal growth book every month or listening to a podcast in the car on the way to work. So it can look different for everyone. It's a fun journaling exercise to go through and kind of brainstorm what a level 10 would look like in each of these categories. But for now, just do a gut check. Don't think too much about it. Just do a gut check to get started. You can finesse your process as you get more consistent with it. So take a look at my reflection wheel. And this is, again, my actual reflection wheel for March. So getting a little vulnerable here. And let's go through and just look at sort of my current status. And then I'll explain to you how I jumped to my goal activities for the month. So for meaningful work, I gave myself an 8. I have been balancing 2 businesses, sort of part-time, but really kind of full-time depending on the week for each business. And I am feeling a little overwhelmed with that. I feel like my work is still super meaningful. I love what I do. I love going to work. And I'm feeling that burn a little bit. I'm wanting to hire help, not quite ready to do that yet, but starting to think about what that might look like. So that's why I ranked myself as an 8 for meaningful work. For exercise and nutrition, my exercise has been on point. I got back to my 5 a.m. workouts 5 days a week. It's just happening. I don't even think about it anymore. The alarm goes off. I get on the Peloton. I do a walk at lunch every day, and I do a 10-minute either core or arm exercise every single day, and feeling good with that. Nutrition, if you've watched any of my personal growth plan videos for 2023, I've been working on my nutrition, on optimizing it. More or less, I eat fairly healthy, but I have been trying to rein in my sugar intake. So I just read a book called The Glucose Revolution. I'll link it in the video description. Super good book. And I've been focusing on that to help me optimize my nutrition. So I gave myself an 8 in that category this month. Finances, I'm feeling really solid. I had a super abundant month in March. I'm so grateful. A lot of hard work, but it is paying off. So I actually gave myself a 10 for that. We are hitting our investment goals. We are like doing all the things. So that feels good. Sleep is going pretty well. I did write a note that I need to set a bedtime alarm because Netflix is real. The kids have been going to bed later and later, it seems, and just the allure of the couch and no one needing me is so appealing at night. So I gave myself a 9. I've been sleeping better than I have in the past. I just need to go to bed earlier. Parenting, I gave myself an 8. We got some one-on-one day dates in with our kids, big, long, full day dates, and it was awesome. So that felt really good. I had some great conversations with my daughter, and was just really proud that I was able to make that happen. Personal growth, I have myself at a 9. I have been getting great feedback. I've been booking more coaching clients, which is really exciting. And I've been working on my book, and I have some exciting updates for you on that coming soon. So keep an eye out. For my partner relationship, I am married. I gave myself a level 7 this month. We had an awesome day date the previous month, or the previous week, excuse me. And we've been getting our coffee dates back in the morning, which is a habit that I love and need. To be able to communicate and spend time with my husband before the busyness of our days start. I definitely can see some room for improvement there just with the amount of quality time we spend together, but that will come in a few minutes in my action steps. And then finally, the physical space. So that, in my opinion, is my home. That's where I spend most of my time. We are in the midst of a kitchen renovation. If you've done one of those, you feel my pain. The kitchen is the hub of our house, and so having it sort of out of commission is challenging. But we purchased new kitchen counters. We are getting them installed in March. We chose a paint color, but everything is just sort of feeling a mess at home right now. Everything had to be moved out of the kitchen, so everything's everywhere. Craziness. So that's my current status. That's sort of the process that I go through. It took longer because I was explaining everything to you, but if you were doing this on your own, it probably would take you 5 minutes tops to really cruise through those different topics. So from there, what I do is now I'm back at the top of my wheel. I go back to meaningful work and I go through and I ask myself, okay, what could I do to help me in this area? I don't necessarily hit every category every time. Some actions are small, some actions are big, some actions happen, some actions don't. But it's just generally, if I could improve these areas, what would I do? So for meaningful work, I decided that in order to take a baby step towards being ready to hire someone, I'm going to start time tracking 1 week to see what I would want someone to help me with. I want to see how much time I'm actually spending on different activities to help me decide what I am ready to outsource. For nutrition, I am ready to implement 2 glucose rules that I read about in the Glucose Revolution book. I am working on my money mindset blocks. So that's sort of like my finances action step. This is also part of my personal growth plan. Some of these things are overlapping. So the glucose and rules and the money mindset blocks, those are both part of my personal growth plan too. So a little bit of double dipping, but it doesn't hurt to write it in multiple places and put that focused energy towards it. Use my bedtime alarm to go upstairs. We chatted about that. I wanted to make sure that I got a day date in with my youngest daughter, and that did happen already, so I was able to check that off. I want to schedule at least 2 dates with my husband. We made that happen as well this month, so that's going to get checked off. Painting the kitchen is on the list. Finishing my book proposal. I'm not going to say too much about that now. I have some news coming up about that, but that is on my action list. And then finally send the draft of my book to the beta readers that have volunteered to read it for me. So that's it, friends. I know it seems like a lot. This video is about 11 minutes so far, but again, I was talking through a lot of it. So you are definitely going to be able to cruise through this on your own 5 to 10 minutes each month, and this will help you with your weekly plan. So I have an upcoming video that shares with you exactly what one of my weeks look like in the month of March. And you can see sort of the connection as I'm moving these things week to week to make sure that they are being prioritized throughout the month. So if you have not started with a map book yet, if you're like, what is she even talking about? A map book is my make a plan book, and it is one of my most popular resources for moms. I have a free setup guide for you using the link in my video description. You could download it and in the next hour have your own map book started and rocking and rolling, having you go from super overwhelmed to super organized in less than an hour, which is pretty cool. So definitely check that out. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so that you don't miss future videos. Have a great day, Mama.